Well, hello, Unlimited Wisdom community and family. I love and appreciate you guys. So, hi, Scott. Hi, Melody. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Corky. Hi, my son. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Jim. And my lovely wife, Terry. And of course, CJ, the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. I see Deborah just jumped on here. And my subject for today that I've been promising is fasting. So fasting. And when I thought about breaking this all down, the first thing I want to tell each and every one of you is that it still to me is all about mind. It really is about your mindset. And I would basically say to people, you probably need to do like we always talk about is why. Why would you fast? And when people say, well, I want to lose a few weights, or I'd like to get detoxed, or I'd like to get closer to God, whatever that is, hi Mary, that would be the first thing that I would suggest to every one of you. And one of the things is I need you guys to know that I've done a fast numerous times. So, when you do it a number of times, you just get gooder at it. And it's like, and so one of the things that I did first is I'm not first, but this second to the last time, so yesterday was 31 days. I lost 37 pounds, and I was gonna shoot for 40. And yesterday, I didn't do the fast perfect. I got in my mind, and I mean, got in my mind, and I thought, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to do a 100% water fast for a couple of days. Just do water. And the fatigue level that I had yesterday was like off the chart. And, I think that if I analyzed it, I'm going to share with you guys exactly the routine I was doing every day. And I know that my body, even though it was fasting, got used to what I was doing, what I was giving it. And when that didn't happen, it was like, I'm done. I'm I'm done. And I hear these people that always go on like a 72-hour fast, water fast, but that would be before you went without eating for 30 days. Does that make sense to everyone? I think that you could do it early and then do what I'm doing. Hi, Coach Bob. Thanks for jumping on here. I hope Mary you heard me. Hi, Michael and Angela. So again, the one thing that I did with fasting is do what I do with everything. Um, Again, I believe a lot of people, Sandy and I talked about this yesterday, is I think that a lot of people don't stay motivated and they won't continue to do what they're supposed to do with enthusiasm and exciting if you don't have success stories of other people that did it. You know what I mean? I just think that's so important to find stories that resonate with you. And when you find stories that resonate with you and why people did what they did, then that can get to a point where you got those motivational stories. And then you can say, if they can do it, I can do it. Are you guys following me? It's like if they did it, I can do it. And I just think that's so important. So what I did is I just started selling myself. Are you guys listening to me? I started selling myself on if I were to do this, is it possible? Not for somebody else, but is it possible for me? And that's when you start doing the questions, right? I started asking my question, listen, scientifically, can a body go 40 days without food? And there's a number of documented cases that it can. You know what I mean? So now, wouldn't that still come down to be an individual choice? Because wouldn't you guys all agree that probably people can go 40 days without food? But how many of you think that people would have very unique conditions in who they are where they couldn't?
Me.
They and so so that's a part again of selling yourself that you're going to do this. And so what I did is I started just asking myself questions, and I was on Google and of course, AI, and I was going through these questions, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that, there's some people in medical conditions like a coma or a young baby, or people are sometimes babies are born with no digestive system, or something happens with somebody and they have something that's really really wrong with their digestive system or their rectal system or also their stomach or even their esophagus. And when people cannot feed and eat food normally, they get fed with a feeding tube, right? And so when I thought of that, my first thought, well, what in the hell is what's in the bag? What's in the bag that feeds our body when you can't eat food or eat food to digest food? See the steps that I took? And I'm going like, okay, so I know people that, you know, were born in a way and they're still on a feeding tube. So they got a big giant syringe. It looks like formula, and they mix it up and bam, you know what I mean? There's my meal, bam, you know? And so then I started thinking about what's in this stuff. And so the first thing that I found out that's very important to the human body is just minerals. You just gotta have minerals. And there's a lot of debate. Again, I would wish that each and every one of you that watch this or people that watch this on a replay is again, don't forget your individuality. Don't forget your uniqueness. Just because someone says that you need a lot of calcium doesn't mean that you need a lot of calcium. Are you guys following me? It's like every one of us are unique. And so I'll share this stuff with you. So I stumbled across this stuff years and years and years ago. Um, and I'll give you the quick story about it. In fact, we actually used to market it. I would say this was probably 1992, but I used it before that. And what this is called is just liquid ionic trace minerals. This stuff is crazy. So, what it is the inland sea in Utah. What they do is they go to the very bottom of the sea, the lake. They take water that's pure out of the bottom. And then what they do is they get rid of 99% of the sodium. And it's all the trace elements that's in a human body from the time that they're born. And so the crazy stuff about this is we did a demonstration in front of the room, right? And what we would do is you could take a couple of pieces of wire and attach it to a light bulb. And then if you touched them on a quarter, it would light the light bulb up, right? So then what we would do is put the probes in water. So they're taped together, so they're about an inch apart, and you would put it in water, and the light bulb wouldn't go on. Then you start putting drops of this stuff in, and the light bulb would light up. Now, people are going, there was a lot of people that are going, there's some kind of trickery or wizardry here, blah, 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 blah. The one that would blow their mind is if you continue to keeping drops in it, the bulb would actually get brighter than if you touched it on metal. You keep putting drops in it, and you can literally hear the light bulb sizzle. And so anyone that's tried this stuff, I don't have an affiliate link, right? Yeah, I know. But you put a couple of drops on your finger, and I've done this to people that come to our house, and you put it on your tongue, and it feels like your hair's on fire.
That's how we welcome people into our house. They can't do the test, they got to get the fuck out.
So if you guys know the incredible miracle of the human body is that it has a tendency of getting rid of the stuff that it doesn't need. You know what I mean? So I knew my body needed minerals. So I know a lot about this manufacturer and them making it. And boy, I'll tell you what, it was, I think it was, I forget the other doctor, but I don't know if you guys have heard of a guy named Dr. Whitaker. But this guy's wrote in books about totally reversing diabetes and all of this stuff. He's just one of those people that is natural and loves natural stuff, right? So I took it says on there that you take how many people you know use reverse osmosis water? See, you could use reverse osmosis water, but it has no minerals in it.
Well, that's what I drink every day.
So what you do is when you use reverse osmosis water, you just put a couple of drops of this in there and it'll give it all the minerals. The reason you don't is because our reverse osmosis has a mineral induction.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Never mind.
Okay. Not gonna let my wife mold away. You know what I mean? Hi, Dustin. So I knew the importance. So I was doing 30 drops a day, and we used to call this stuff life essence, right? And one of the things is people would always say, we'd say, well, listen, start out with like 5 drops and work your way up. And people say, well, if it says 30 drops, I'm doing 30 drops. And you within no BS, within a couple hours, you're doing a natural detox. You're basically
Better be next to a toilet.
yeah, you bet you're peeing out of your butthole. I mean it's like so you gotta use your body up to this. And one of the things I was just thinking, as I share this video with you guys, I know a lot of people go, well, Robert, always talks about, focus on finding people that need to learn, make extra money. And I bet some of you are going right now, wait a minute, I didn't know this scientific side of Robert that knows all the benefits of all these products. Because I'm the kind of guy that if I'm going to do my research, I'm going to find the best. And and so I can make sure to send that link. I never even thought about it, Craig. Let me get that link for you.
All right, I'll post it up.
Now,
It lasts a long time too.
oh yeah, oh my God, it's in that little bottle. If you're doing 30 drops, it's way over like probably 2 months, 3 months of stuff. And I forget what it was. It's a whopping $20.
It says $20 to 384. I'm sure that depends on the quantity. Although,
Yeah, you can get it 4 ounce, 8 ounce, and in a gallon.
yeah, because it's showing when I'm looking on it right now, it's showing $384 for the gallon. There we go.
Yeah, a gallon would last you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, 4 ounces is $20.
I never even thought about it. I bet you the 4 ounce bottle would last more than 30 days.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Says
So that's one of the things. So in my research, fasting, you want to have minerals in your body. And the thing that I was testing yesterday is when I get up and I'm fasting, the very first thing that I do is I take water. I put 30 drops of this in a bottle of water like this. And then I also put electrolytes. So now how many people know the importance of electrolytes? All right. So again, here's one thing I know about minerals and electrolytes. And this is, some of you know the importance. But one of the things that there was when tampons first came out and women were dying from toxic syndrome, what I mean? Toxic shock. Do you know what that was all about? Is the tampon actually pulled out minerals of women's bodies, and one mineral actually, one mineral causes our muscles to contract, and the other mineral allows it to release. And so women were dying of heart attacks because their heart would constrict but wouldn't release because of a lack of one mineral in the human body. That is scary. So it's like, so whatever the tampon was doing, it was not only doing what it was intended to do, but it also was pulling out this one mineral out of the body. Well, electrolytes do the same thing. And so again, let me show you and listen, I am not trying to say which one's better, which one's the best, which one has the most reviews. I forget the one I was doing, LMT or something.
Yeah.
I was doing a product called,
Get that in cans now.
yeah, I was doing a product called MLT
MT,
until I seen this company do its, what is it, comparison? Yeah, and believe it or not, potassium and magnesium are the two minerals and electrolytes that you need to, tighten your muscles and let them go. How many people have had, let me grab this link. How many people have had cramps? Okay. When you have a cramp, that's again a constriction of a muscle, a constriction, a tightening of the muscle, and then you notice that it contracts and then it doesn't let go. That's why it's hurting. You're lacking that mineral and that electrolyte in your body.
Shit. I take magnesium, but I don't take potassium.
I never even thought about this. That's probably the first time Terry has ever heard me talk like this. So I would get up in the morning and put 30 drops of ionic minerals in here, and then one of those little packets of electrolytes. And I'm telling you, I would finish it. It probably, I don't know, it probably would take me about 20 minutes to finish the whole bottle and shake it up good and finish it. And it's like, woo, the energy level I had. And understand, I'm not eating food. But if your body is trying to get minerals and electrolytes out of the food, and I don't need to go into a big thing about how there's a lack of minerals and electrolytes in our food today. See, I don't really need to go through that for everyone to go, I already know that. I already know that our food doesn't have in it what it's supposed to have. And so let me post that. And this is with my affiliate link. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. I know you guys.
Care, it's with mine.
Yeah, Terry's affiliate link. I knew better than that. All right. So now it's really amazing what else it says from a bunch of studies that I've read is that water is more important for your body during a fast than anything. And another thing that I experienced that a lot of people say that they experience is you really go into ketosis. So when you go into ketosis, your tongue turns a little white. And I mean, it's like you constantly have this, I just say, just an awful taste in your mouth. So if you're constantly drinking water, that really helps. But it's crazy how much water I drink when I do a fast. And probably because I just know my body needs it. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly just, drinking water. Then around noontime, that's when I would use all my Immunical products. So I not only was doing the Immunical Sport, but also the blue one. I guess that's the one that everybody uses. And then a green pack, and then an orange pack. So when I didn't do that yesterday, after a 30-day fast, it was like, so I know some of you might be taking that stuff and not really realizing it's doing anything for you. If you took it without eating for 2 days, 3 days, you would definitely know there's frickin' stuff in there. Because your body just goes, thank you. You know, and so right after taking that, I could feel, energy and clearer headed. And believe it or not, that's all I did. That's all I did. I in a before I got involved in Immunotech and I did a 30-day fast, I did the AG1 green
Oh,
drink.
yeah.
And so, again, I knew the importance of having nutrients for the body, right? So, water, electrolytes, minerals, and nutrition. And so, I was using that AG1. If you guys have seen that, it's pretty easy to find. I guess they got a new video on that. And what got me off the fast last time was, again, I don't know if you're like this. I know we're all unique, but me, I'm always trying to add more, add more, add more, instead of just being consistent. I know this is way off topic here, but I was telling Terry, it was so funny. I've been seeing this girl, Sophie Rain is her name. Who knows if that's her real name? But she made $43 million on OnlyFans. And she said that she never ever went nude. So a lot of people are going like, whatever, right? But she was on the Howie Mandel show. So if you guys know, Howie Mandel is quite the germaphobe, right? So what he did is he had a piece of plastic that had rubber hands in it, like we've seen in COVID. And that's the only way he would shake her hand. I know that it sounds pretty insulting, but it was like, she did it. So why am I bringing this up? Because I did watch a small clip. And he said, so listen, don't lie. Did you really make 43 million? She said, yeah. And she said, he goes, well, what do you think your trick was? She said, most people are just not consistent. And he goes, what? And she goes, I would just do, I just would do multiple videos and multiple streams every day. She goes, for me to make that kind of money, I just think, people keep asking me how I did that. And I'm just more consistent than most people. I'm going like, out of everything she could have said, that I think I'm prettier or I got a better body or whatever you would think that it would be, her deal is like, I put up more content. So if I put up more content, then more people subscribe to my channel. So I know that's totally off topic, but then maybe it's not. Hi, Faith. Hi, Christine. Hi, Lisa Marie. Hope I didn't miss anyone. So the only other things I said I messed up before is I thought, wow, I'm really losing weight, on my last fast. So then what I did is I started seeing how many minutes I could do on the rowing machine. And then if I'm doing the rowing machine and I'm in our workout room, then why don't I just do 20 minutes in the sauna? And then if I'm going to be in the infrared sauna, then why don't, when I get out and I'm sweating, why don't I do, my stretching? Start out with some really good stretching. That was just too much. I was just walking without eating. I was just walking, I would get up, and just from getting up, I would like, woo, you know what I mean? It would feel like I didn't have enough energy to even get up the stairs. So I'd get up the stairs, and at the top of the stairs, I would have to like just take a little bit. And I'm going like, so why is it so?
To the stairs.
Yeah. So my deal is I would suggest, again, I think you need to listen to your body and listen really, really good, but be in a situation where, there's not a lot of people that don't have to, my wife thinks I don't work already, so to have.
True story. True story. story.
She's like, how do you make all these things happen? All you do is meditate and prayer. That's all you do. You don't do anything else. And I'm going like, hey, sometimes things work for me. They work for me all the time. But I thought I'd really share that fasting with you because it goes back to videos that we've done this week. And again, what I would suggest is why can't you go a half a day or maybe just skip a meal? See, the one book that I read that really got me on this concept was The Science of Being Well by Wallace Wattles. And when we'd all agree how lack of stuff our food currently has in it. And of course, I'm talking processed food. So we know it's lack of nutrients. That's why people eat, and then after they eat, they still feel hungry. So if our body's getting no minerals, no enzymes from it, no electrolytes from it, no nutrition from it, then it's pretty obvious that people would eat more than they should, right? And so when I read that book and Wallace Wattles was saying, now listen, if you're a lumberjack that works 8 hours a day and you live in Alaska when it's cold out, you need 3 meals a day. If you're not, then you don't need that many calories. You don't need 3 meals a day. And of course, where did the whole concept of how do you know that, right? That's when you start doing your research and you go, does the human body really need 3 meals a day? It does not. Now, the only other thing that they say is depending on your job, you do need enough energy to do your job. But a lot of people don't have jobs that don't burn very many calories. I think what a lot of people don't realize, they get any kind of watch that shows how much calories you burn. And as soon as you get it, how many of you want to go, this is bullshit. I'm burning 82 calories a day. This is like,
I used to go to a women's gym, and there'd be ladies on the treadmill that until they got 600 calories done on the treadmill. I mean, they were there half the goddamn day. I'm like, see ya. I'm out after my 30 minutes.
but that's when you really know, because a lot of people can be on here and debate that they know more than everybody else. But come on, life is pretty simple. It really, really is. Garbage in, garbage out. So it's calories in, calories out. We all know this. Every one of us knows this. And so if we're taking in more calories than we're burning, we're adding calories. So the body goes, listen, I don't know what to do with these extra calories, so I'll just store them.
We got to have a talk with our body. Knock it off.
But it is pretty interesting how you can go out and walk for 30 minutes and you look at your watch and see how many calories you burn and how immediately disappointed we are, right? It is like, this must be lying. No.
I don't look at that.
No, it's not. So would it be possible to miss a meal? Because when you do your due diligence about who came up with the 3 square meals, how many people came up with the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Yeah, Lucky Charms, Kellogg's, General Mills. It's really, really incredible how good the people that want to make money in this world and be in a capitalist country, it's pretty interesting how they figured out how to get us to consume just as much as we possibly can. I used to love the Pop-Tart commercials. I just think they're just amazing. You know what I mean? Are they good for you? I don't know.
It's fruit. There's no fruit in it.
Is your fruit allowed, mate? Right?
That's right.
And so start thinking to yourself in little bites. So I've been talking about this. It's like, what could you do and little bitty parts where you just find out. Now, here's what I'll tell you. If you're putting good minerals and good electrolytes and good nutrition into your life, it's pretty easy to miss a meal. Very easy to miss a meal. But if you're not putting that in your body, then your body's going to say, I only know what one place to get it. And then we talk about the last part that you guys already know. It's the part that I started with, is not only do you got to understand your uniqueness and proclaim your uniqueness, and again, I'll go back to my favorite book by far, The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino. But one of the things that we all got to do is get good, not only trusting ourselves, but also asking ourselves. I mean, how many times I know some people that are really good with thoughts in their mind drifting. And of course, Dino, rah, rah, we got Dino in our head. And you got people that will look at their watch and they'll look at their watch and go, well, listen, blah, 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 blah. And you're going, listen, why are you being such an asshole? And it's like, well, I'm hangry. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just say, well, if I don't get food by this amount of time, if I don't eat by this amount of time, then I turn into an asshole or I turn into a bitch, bastard, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Here's a crack. Bob, my coffee, right? So, we really got to ask ourselves, where are that in our head? Right? So some people listen, if I don't eat at this time, I start getting a headache. You know what I mean? And yeah, listen to your words. That there's no doubt in my mind, you are not lying when you say, if you don't eat, I'm going to get a headache or I'm going to turn into an asshole. That's the absolute truth because you said it. Right? And so this is where we get into the comfort place. Because the thing that I always tell Terry that I blow my mind with is when I do make a decision to go on a fast, I don't get hungry. I don't have hunger pains. It's not bothering me. And it's because I made a decision that I'm just not going to eat. So now my body's got to go, he already made this decision. He does this all the time. And you can ask her because she's not going to lie for me ever. It's like, I forget to eat. If I'm focused on doing something, I'll get up and I'll just forget to eat because I'm so focused on something. And so the joke around the house has always been, I wouldn't eat if she didn't bring it to me. I wouldn't eat if she...
Because Terry didn't bring me lunch.
They go, listen, did you have lunch? I don't think she brought it to me. It's like, and she's always really, really good at preparing supper and she does it at 6. And so, me and Kyle, she'll yell at me, supper, and then I'll go tell Kyle and then we'll eat together. And you can ask Matt that, so she's really, really a good cook and she always prepares that. And
table at 6. I don't know how I do it,
but it's still my decision because she's really good at making desserts.
Love dessert.
Just
I made ice cream a couple days ago. I gotta take a scoop out of that today. See if it tastes okay.
And so, so I can't really think about anything other. Anything else that I could think about with the fasting. But it does feel good to be 37 pounds lighter. I can tell you that. Oh man, the biggest thing is for me this time. There's a lot of people, and Craig has brought this up with his belief, but there's a lot of people that Christians do this too, Catholics, is where you just make a decision to fast from something other than food. Now it can be food, and you do it for remembrance. So if it's something that you really, really, really love, And then you just say, for X amount of time, I'm going to not do this. Because if you're thinking that, oh my God, I missed this, then it's supposed to put you in a mindset to be grateful for things that God has gave you, including creating you, your family, whatever else you find grateful for. And so there's a lot of biblical aspects where Jesus fasted all the time. You know what I mean? But it's so funny when I watch the Chosen. One of the things that I realize is a lot of time that they fasted is because they just didn't have any food. But they did talk numerous times about, you know, eating once or twice a week. And I'm like, wow, and so what you can do and what you can't do, but you can really get, rewards from yourself. For some of you are just saying, well, I'm just going to give up dessert, or I'm going to give up sugar. You know what I mean? Sandy, like, no, no to all this.
I love sugar.
Yeah. You've never fasted, have you?
No.
No. So again, this is an individual thing. But again, this time, I don't know, everything just hit me at the right time where I mentally was going, I just want to see how close I can get. So you pull closer to me, I'll pull closer to you. And so I have prayed more, and I have spent more time in meditation. And Terry, she took off on the 12th to go see Ezra and Matt and Hannah. And so, I don't watch much TV. You know what I mean? So I watched just a couple of shows to get sort of caught up on the news. But then, I'm like going, okay, so it was funny.
Shows because
I can't watch any of the shows that we watch together because that would be like cheating, you know what I mean? And so then that's how I caught up on, 40 episodes of The Chosen. And then I started watching The House of David. And I'm still going to be on a mental thing about this where, when I have open times, that I watch something like that allows me, a little more time and including reading the Bible. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed that, doing that for a number of reasons. And so that's it. What? Come on, tell me what's going on.
nothing. We got to take our dogs to the vet, get their rabies shot.
Oh, yeah. So I love each and every one of you. If you guys have any questions, you can send me questions privately. But I think that if we summed everything up that I talked about today, is it is a neat thing to imagine. And it is neat to be able to pat yourself on the back for doing something that you put your mind to. And again, just consistently ask yourself questions. And what I do is I know that I have a higher power that I call God, and I just ask. You know what I mean? Should I do this? Should I do this? How does this feel? And I guess one other quick thing is it really, really helps you with listening to your body, because you really, really get in touch with who you are and your body, because it's talking to you constantly. And it's like, it's like, wow, it would really be neat right now to be able to lick on a cashew. No, you shouldn't even smell it. Don't smell the cashew. Now I'm talking in day 20. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, well,
Commercial where the lady smells the Oreo and then eats a piece of broccoli.
that's funny. But thank you for getting on, Dustin and Faith and Deborah and Christine and Scott, Melody and Charlie, Santa, Matt, Coach Bob, Deborah, Grady, Michael and Angela, Sarah, Sandy, Jim, my lovely wife, and the hostess with the mostest, Greg. I love and appreciate you guys. We'll see you the rest of the weekend. Have a great Friday night.
Bye, everybody.